Hi, it's CNT140. We are working on our fiber optic cabling lab. We're now moving on to the next section on our fiber optic power meter. Now, just kind of putting it in perspective for you, in the first part of the lab, we had our fiber optic patch cable that we had tested with the visual fault locator and identified that, the red side of the cable was functioning well. The black connector side of the cable had a fault over here. So we're going to take this now, this same cable, and we're going to connect it up to a power meter to see what kind of loss we do have between those two. So I'm going to start off using a very generic reference light source. This is just a media converter. That's what I could bring home from our lab room. So we're using this media converter as our light source that will connect onto the fiber. So this is set up to, let me get my wavelength set here. This should be set for 1310. There's our 1310 nanometers. We'll connect our red side of the cable to the transmit over here on the media converter, and then we're going to connect our red side of the cable to our power meter. There we go. And we're going to say that that's, roughly 30 decibels of signal strength coming through. And again, we would need to check with the light source, the type of cable, whether that's the appropriate value for the length of cable we have. But for ours, that's just a reference that the red side of the cable that we saw before is a nice strong signal coming through. Well, if we compare that now with the other side of the cable that we noted has a fault, so let's do our black side of the cable here. And this is the end that we did not have a fault with, but this is the end we did. I'll connect this now to the power meter and we'll see what kind of signal we have. Yeah, we're noting about a 4 or 5 decibel loss on our signal in addition to that 30 decibel strength we had coming through before. So this would be an indicator that if we were not able to see that break for any reason, this would be an indicator that this side of the cable is the faulty side. There's something really wrong. So for some reason we tested with this first. This is showing what we were able to confirm before, that there is a break in the cable. So your power meter is a way to test for signal loss over a distance on a cable. But I do need a known power, a known light source with a known power to start with, and I would calibrate the meter for that. And then I could check, in this case, this cable for, the red side of my cable was coming through a nice strong signal. The other side of my cable is coming through with a loss, in some cases maybe a significant loss on the signal strength coming through. So there's your fiber optic power meter designed to measure signal strength of the light coming through the cable.